What's up, guys? It's me, HexxedPhenom, and today, welcome back to Top 5 Friday. Today we're going to be counting down the top 5 Perk-a-colas in Call of Duty Zombies, but we're going to be excluding Juggernog because I want to keep the list interesting, and we all know that Juggernog would be a #1 spot were it on this list. So let's get straight into the list here. We're going to be doing the honorable mentions first, as always. We have 2 honorable mentions, and the first honorable mention today is going to be Mule Kick, first introduced on Moon. This thing costs 4,000, and it was actually later added to all the other Black Ops 1 maps through a patch. But like I said, this thing costs 4,000, and its effect is that it grants the player a 3rd weapon slot. And in Black Ops 1, there was no way to determine which weapon you were going to lose when you went down. But in Black Ops 2, it was fixed to take away whatever weapon is filling your 3rd weapon slot. So as long as you pay attention, you at least know what gun you're going to lose, and you can kind of strategize around it to have your worst gun be in your 3rd slot, if you can remember which gun is in your 3rd slot. But other than that, the logo for this perk is a green background with 3 pistols to represent the fact that you can hold 3 weapons. Our second and final honorable mention on this list is Electric Cherry, first introduced on Mob of the Dead and has only so far returned in Origins through the Dare Wonder Fizz machine. This perk costs 2,000, and the effect is that reloading causes the player to emit an electric shock to the zombies around them. And the way that this works is that the less ammo in the magazine when you reload, the bigger and more powerful the electric shockwave is going to be. So on lower rounds, you can kill zombies with the shockwave. Otherwise, on higher rounds, it will stun them. This is very useful if you get cornered. Let me just add that in there. But the logo for Electric Cherry is a blue background with a cherry, and the stem is a lightning bolt. And by the way, little fun fact, the name of the perk Electric Cherry is actually a play on words, or a pun, for electric chair, because the map Mob of the Dead takes place on Alcatraz Island, and yeah. So getting into the actual list here, guys, number 5 is Quick Revive or Revive Soda, first introduced on Verrucht, and this perk has returned in every single map since then except for Mob of the Dead, because of the fact that on Mob of the Dead, there's the Afterlife/Purgatory mode. You do not need Quick Revive. It is priced at 500 points in solo and 1,500 on co-op, and that's because there are 2 different effects to this perk dependent upon whether you're playing solo or co-op. Solo, you can revive yourself after being down, but can only be used 3 times a match. And co-op, the time it takes to revive a player is cut by 50%. And the perk logo for Quick Revive is a light blue background with a stick figure popping out of his grave to represent the fact that on solo you can get up from being downed. Number 4 here is Stamina Up, first introduced on Ascension. This thing costs 2,000 points, and its effects are movement speed is increased by 7%, and sprint time is increased by 100%, so effectively doubling the amount of time you can sprint. This is very, very useful on bigger maps such as Transit, Origins especially with the mud, things like that. And the Stamina Up perk logo is a yellow background with a stick figure that is running so fast it actually looks, it's very similar to Sonic the Hedgehog, the older games. The stick figure is running sideways, and it's running so fast that its feet are motion blurred, and it just looks like its feet are going in a circle. It looks pretty cool. And that is obviously to represent the fact that you will be moving much faster. Number 3 here, guys, is PhD Flopper, first introduced as well on Ascension. This thing also costs 2,000, and its effect is no explosive damage or fall damage, and that also includes splash damage from things like the ray gun, the scavenger, other weapons such as those. And the other effect is diving to prone from an elevated surface creates a powerful explosion that is a 1-hit kill till around round 20, so that's very useful as well. And the perk logo for this thing is a purple background with a nuclear icon, a nuclear radiation icon, and there's lines around it to what I assume is to represent the fact that it's shaking, which is supposed to be a little nod to the fact that, like, the flopper ability, where diving prone causes an explosion. But I don't know, that perk's pretty damn useful, especially with the ray gun. If you're gonna get the ray gun, you need PhD Flopper. Number 2 here, guys, is Speed Cola, first introduced on Verrucht. This thing costs 3,000 points, the second most expensive perk, actually tied with Voltrade for second. But the effects are that reload time is cut by 50%, and you can rebuild barriers 60% faster. But for some reason, this part of the perk was removed from Black Ops 2, so the rebuilding barrier 60% faster part only works on World at War and Black Ops 1 maps. I don't really know why they did this, but maybe we'll see it return to Speed Cola for Black Ops 3. I really don't know. Alright, number 1 here, guys, is Double Tap 2.0, and a lot of people still actually don't know this, but I'm not talking about the World at War and Black Ops Double Tap. I'm talking about the Black Ops 2 Double Tap, and for those of you that don't know, it doesn't just have a different logo, it actually does something different. While it does still increase your rate of fire by 25%, what Double Tap 2 also does is that every 1 bullet fired splits into 2 bullets, and basically what this does is it effectively doubles damage. As long as you're aiming down sights, you won't even notice this, but if you are hip firing something like a sniper, you can tell by the bullet trail that it actually does shoot 2 bullets, but it counts as 1, if that makes any sense. But as long as you're aiming down sight, or using something with a tight hipfire spread, you're effectively doubling damage, which makes this perk extremely, extremely useful. It is always the second perk that I will buy on any zombies map on Black Ops 2, regardless of the map. It'll always be Juggernog, then Double Tap 2, but the Double Tap 2 logo actually represents this. It is 1 bullet being fired, and then it goes like behind some sort of little, it just kind of like explodes, and then 2 bullets come out of the other end of the explosion to represent the fact that yes, it shoots 1 bullet, or every 1 bullet fired splits into 2. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Top 5 Friday for this week. Be sure to subscribe for more Top 5 Friday, Top 10 Tuesday, Phenom Podcast, Phenom Platinums, or anything else you're enjoying on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you guys later.